Hey there, fellow money-savvy friends. Today, we're diving into a concept that's been buzzing in the personal finance world for years, the infamous latte factor. Now, before you roll your eyes and think, not another lecture about my coffee habit, hear me out. This isn't just about your morning cup of joe. It's about the bigger picture of how small, everyday expenses can seriously impact our financial future. So, what exactly is the latte factor? Well, it's the idea that those seemingly insignificant daily purchases, like that $5 latte or that $3 snack from the vending machine, can add up to a pretty hefty sum over time. Let's break it down with a quick example. Imagine you're spending $5 on a fancy coffee every workday. That's about $25 a week, $100 a month, and a whopping $1,200 a year. But here's the kicker. It's not just about the money you're spending. It's about the potential growth of that money if you were to invest it instead. If you took that $1,200 a year and invested it with an average annual return of 7%, after 30 years, you'd have over $120,000. Now, I know what you're thinking, but I love my daily coffee run. It's the highlight of my morning, and I get it. I really do. The latte factor isn't about depriving yourself of life's little pleasures. It's about being aware of where your money is going and making intentional choices about your spending. Let's take a moment to consider some other common latte factors that might be sneaking into our budgets: subscriptions, impulse purchases, convenience foods, in-app purchases, and unused gym memberships. The key is to identify these small expenses and evaluate whether they're truly adding value to your life. Some financial experts argue that focusing on these small expenses is missing the forest for the trees. They say we should be looking at the big picture, things like increasing our income, negotiating better salaries, or making smart investments. But here's my take. Why not do both? Why not look for ways to increase your income and be mindful of your daily spending habits? Let's talk about how we can put the latte factor to work in our own lives. First, try tracking your expenses for a month, and I mean all of them. Every coffee, every snack, every impulse buy. Maybe you realize that your daily latte is a non-negotiable part of your morning routine that brings you joy. Great, keep it. But perhaps you also notice that you're spending $50 a month on a gym membership you never use. The goal isn't to eliminate all small pleasures from your life. It's about being intentional with your spending and aligning it with your values and long-term financial goals. Another way to apply the latte factor is to pay yourself first. This means automatically setting aside a portion of your income for savings or investments before you even have a chance to spend it on lattes. Some critics argue that the latte factor puts too much blame on individuals for their financial struggles, ignoring larger systemic issues like stagnant wages and rising costs of living. But here's the thing. While we can't always control our income or the economy, we can control our spending habits. Let's also talk about the psychological aspect of the latte factor. For many of us, those small daily purchases are often emotional decisions rather than rational ones. By becoming more aware of these habits, we can start to address the root causes of our spending and potentially find healthier ways to cope with our emotions. One approach I've found helpful is the 24-hour rule for non-essential purchases. If I'm tempted to buy something I don't really need, I wait 24 hours before making the purchase. It's also worth noting that the latte factor isn't just about cutting expenses. It's about redirecting that money towards your financial goals. In my own life, applying the latte factor has been eye-opening. I realized I was spending a small fortune on takeout lunches simply because I was too lazy to pack my own. At the end of the day, the latte factor is about more than just lattes. It's about being mindful of our spending, aligning our money habits with our values, and making intentional choices that support our long-term financial goals.